growing up, I always thought I probably was gonna be a drug dealer. My dad only knew how to sell drugs. My dad actually taught me how to cook crack. Now it's to the point where people is hiring us to rob people. The first time I got arrested, I was 15. We in Whitehall. It's these pop machines, and we break it in one. We get like $1,100. So when we're walking to the car, see some people at the park who I'm with, like, oh, we about to get $2,200. I'm like, nah, I'm not going over there. They're like, we going over there. So I'm like, all right, you know what? I'm with y'all. You know how kids are. They're peer pressuring you. Oh, you scared? I'm like, oh man, let's go over there. I see a cruiser creeping up through the grass, and I say, hey, that's the cops. We immediately start running. So my dad calls me. My dad's like, hey, Juju, cops is out here. They want you to come outside. My mom is like, there's a tank on the line.
Oh my God.
My mom and dad's down there. My mom's crying like, you're about to go to jail for, and I'm just like, Mom, this is what I do. This is what my life is supposed to be. You said you won't make it past 25. You said probably not even 20. He said, but if you change your life, you'll become something. Y'all think y'all hood in here throwing up signs and all this other stuff while your mom out here struggling, crying every night that you sit behind her and she can't hold her baby. There's nothing smart about the streets. There's nothing.
Welcome to another episode of the Dennis Benzo Show, where we bring you testimonies and life stories, inspirational, motivational, encouraging life stories to inspire people out there. Today, I have my man, Terry, in the house. Welcome, Terry.
Hey, what's going on, my guy, man? How you doing?
I'm good, man. Appreciate you for coming. I just hit you up this week, and you're like, yeah, we can shoot. I really appreciate that.
It's a pleasure, brother.
Some people, the way your schedule is and how busy you are, you said, oh, we can make it happen. People be like, oh, give me a month, give me 2 months, but you're not like that.
Nah, man. I'm a regular person. I like to tell people I'm a regular person. If I'm available, I'm gonna make it happen. All my requirement was let me get my hair done, man. Before we start shooting for sure.
You're looking fly, man.
Man, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah. For those who don't know, our set is different today because we are at T's office.
Yeah.
And he's gonna tell us a little bit of what he does. Man, y'all should follow him and learn a lot from him because he's gonna help you in a lot of ways. I don't want to talk much about it, but I'm gonna let him tell us about. So just can you tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do and stuff like that?
Yeah, I got y'all. So how y'all doing? My name is Terry. Everybody calls me T. I'm in the stock market. So if you look me up on Instagram, my name is Stock Trader T. Make sure you go to the one with the blue badge. Don't go to the one, any other one, because it's some scammers out there.
Yeah.
But I teach people how to leverage OPM. And if you're not familiar with what OPM is, that's other people's money to invest inside of the stock market. So I trade options, I trade futures, I invest long term. I just really help people learn how to invest for themselves.
Awesome. That's so dope. I was shocked because mostly you don't see people like this, people doing what you do here in Columbus.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you see people in New York and Atlanta, a lot of people there. But here, I'm like, when I called you, I was like, are you here or are you in Atlanta?
Yeah. A lot of people ask me, am I in Atlanta or am I somewhere else? Because it's like Columbus is growing, but it's really like, it's hard on the entrepreneur scene because a lot of people they're not collaborating, right? Yeah. It's a lot of competition out here. So they're trying to pave their own way. And I've already been, I guess you could say I'm already an authority in my field. So for me to still be in Columbus is actually just a shocker, even to me.
Yeah. Really appreciate that. So I want us to go right into your story.
Yeah, sounds good.
How growing up was. So let's start from the beginning. Growing up.
Yeah, I got you. So, I started out on the south side of Columbus. I grew up off of Ennis Road, but I used to hang out in an area called Southfield. So I'm from the south side. All right, so I'm from the south side. The south side is a different part of town, right? I wouldn't say it's necessarily all the way rough, but I mean, I grew up out there, so obviously I'm not gonna judge it. But from the outside looking in, you can definitely say that it was rough. I grew up in a 2-parent household. My parents have been married for 30 plus years. I grew up with my sister. I have 8 siblings. I'm the youngest of 8.
Hey,
Yeah, my dad got busy. My dad definitely got busy.
the same mother?
Nah, my
Oh, okay.
mom. He has two with my mom, me and my sister, so we're very close. But I'm the youngest of them all, so you know when you're the youngest, it's like you have to find your own identity out of 8 siblings. So growing up, I grew up on the South Side. Man, I was a smart kid, but I let the environment change me. I was always looking to be, how do I say that? Be in the in crowd. That makes any sense, in the in crowd. So anime's cool now, but when I was growing up, anime wasn't cool. Like I liked the Pokemon, Dragon Ball Z, all the anime stuff where they wasn't even subbing it or whatever, and people were very judgmental. My dad is crazy because, and I always me and my dad laugh about this nowadays. My dad sold drugs his whole life. And he always had money, but I never really.
Your dad sold drugs?
Yeah, my dad. So a lot of people like see me now with the jewelry and the cars and all this other stuff, and I got that from my dad because growing up, like my dad would have wads of cash. Look, crazy story. And I don't think I ever said this before. My dad actually taught me how to cook crack before. It's crazy, right? He taught me how to. I didn't know what I was doing. My dad actually taught me how to cook crack. Never knew what I was doing, but anyways, so this is crazy. So I never really had like all the clothes or anything like that. But I was like, why don't I got all these clothes and all my friends have all
Let's
these
go
clothes?
back.
Yeah. My dad taught me how to cook crack.
Was
before.
it in your home or what?
Yeah, it was in the crib. It was definitely in the crib. My mom was going at work, so my mom don't even know this story. So if my mom see this, I'm sorry, Mom. Yeah, Dad definitely taught me how to cook crack before. So my dad, so here's the thing, right? My dad, how do I say this? My dad only knew how to sell drugs. My dad didn't know how to, he tried getting a job. It's not for him. It's slow money. My dad likes fast money. So why would I work somewhere for $7 an hour at the time, probably, when I can go make $20, $100 off of somebody coming over my house to pick something up? Very simple. So growing up, I always thought I probably was gonna be a drug dealer. That was just my mind state. Like, oh, okay, my dad does it, and my dad was so cool with it though. Like, my dad never got caught.
Never.
Nah, never. I think they caught my dad like one time when I was like 13 or 14, and he beat the case because he always had. See, the problem with drug dealers, right? I'm gonna just be transparent because my dad's very smart. The problem with drug dealers is drug dealers like the money. They don't think about what happens if I get caught. Where do I put the money up at? My dad always had a lawyer on retainer. My dad always moved it around. And my dad didn't technically move it himself. He would have runners. He would have somebody else move it for him. So he technically wouldn't be with the product. And that's kind of where I get my entrepreneur skills from because I understand the concept of everybody eating. So my dad was really my role model, but my dad always made sure that I didn't take that path. So my dad had a lot of siblings as well, and his siblings were in and out of jail. But at the same time, my dad always took care of his family. Everybody around my dad, he took care of everybody, from me, my mom, my sister, his mom, etc. So that's where I get it from today. But on the south side of Columbus, I mean, that's where drugs was at the time. So it growing up there, even going to school, it didn't seem like my dad sold drugs, if that makes sense, because I don't know what's going on. I think it's normal.
Yeah,
you feel what I'm saying? That's his job.
That's all you know.
Right, that's his job, is to sell drugs. So when people, when it's career day and stuff like that, and my dad's not coming in for career day to explain what he does, I mean, it kind of makes sense. It's like, oh, okay, I'm not telling him my dad sell drugs because I don't know what he's selling. I just know my dad has money. When you're a child, you kind of don't know what my son asked me what I do, and I said, hey, I trade stocks. And he's like, you sell stocks? And I'm like, no, I trade stocks. And you kind of really don't know what your parent does unless you go out and see what he does. But I always, my dad used to ride around with me, and I would see, people respect him, or I would see him have wads of money, or I see him have nice cars, flashy things. So it's embedded in my mind. When I grow up, I want the Rolexes, I want the jewelry, I want everything that my dad got, because this is the image. I want to take care of people because this is normal to me. You get what I'm saying? And that actually took me down a path of, I guess I guess me not being accepted by the in crowd, and then seeing my dad with that took me down of a path of wanting to be a street guy, I guess, if you say that in a sense. So growing up on the South Side, I was never really good in sports. You know, everybody got hoop dreams. I'm not going to the league. I know I'm not going to the league, but hey, so I'm in anime or whatever the case may be. I'm getting picked on because I don't understand why I'm getting picked on. And I'm like, Dad, you got all this money. Why don't I have all these clothes or these things like that? But my dad's smart. My dad, like, I'm spending my money. I'm reinvesting my money. So it doesn't register me. So even in middle school, I go to middle school. My dad actually worked in my middle school for a little bit of time.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I guess he went legit for like 2-3 months or something like that. But so he ends up getting fired from there, whatever case may be. So, you know, he's still selling drugs on the side. I think I was being bullied at this time. I wouldn't say bullied, I guess, but I was, you know how kids are. They're a little harsh or whatever. I'm still wearing clothes from elementary school. It's not registering to me that I, you know, I guess am a lame per se.
Yeah.
It's not registering to me because it's just like it's normal things for people to crack jokes or things like that.
Was it intentional on your dad's part? Just because, well, the little I know about drug dealers is from movies. It's like when they get the money, they want to be very, very flashy, and that draws attention to you. So was it intentional on his part to just make you blend in? And
my dad was grooming me. My dad was grooming me to understand that I got to get my own money. I had this conversation with him, and I would wonder why my sister would have all these. He bought all her cars and all her clothes, and I'm sitting here like, where's my stuff at? Like, where am I not getting anything? And I had a conversation with him. Actually, I had the conversation prior to me shooting my documentary, and he told me, he was like, you see where you at today? And I was like, he said, sorry, other siblings, but he said, you doing better than everybody. He said, because when I got to you, that's when I got it right. That's when he really realized how to be a dad. And the way he started parenting was, hey, you my last son, you're not gonna need for nothing, but I'm not gonna give you anything. My dad never gave me $1. My dad would loan me $1, or he would pay me for a service. Oh, okay, you want some money? You wanna go to the store? Okay, go take the trash out. No, I had to take the trash out. Oh, you want those shoes? Okay, go get these grades in school. And if I didn't get the grades, you're not getting that. You know, you're not, you know, you have to work for it. You know, he got my mentality already started as if I have to earn something. So he really groomed me to be, so me not having my clothes or anything like that, like, because I wanted the clothes, don't get it wrong. Hey, I want some new shoes. What you gonna do for them? How you gonna get them? Come up to me with an idea on how to get these shoes, and I would be lazy. I'm not telling you that you're supposed to be my dad. You're supposed to buy them. You're buying my sister something. And for a long time, I thought my dad didn't like me. Like, I would like, you know, it was like, why are you treating me like this? And talking to him really made me understand, like, oh, you put me in this position now for the real world. So when I got to high school, you ever seen the movie The New Guy?
yeah.
I really lived that story. Like, I'm talking about, I went from the South Side to the East Side. I went to East High School. And when I went to East High School, I was telling my dad, I was like, hey, I don't want to go to East. I don't know anybody. Please, you know, like, send me to Marion Franklin. That's where I knew everybody at. That's where I was comfortable at. And he was like, look, just go there for a week. Let me know what you think. And my first day of school, I was fresh. So I had some clothes. It was my first day of school. And these girls walked up to me and they were like, hey, you're cute. What's your name? And I went home. I was like, yeah, leave me here. I was like, leave me here. I'm getting attention. We're good. We're good. But what came with that attention was, and like I said, and I relate this to The New Guy, is I had to become an entire new person, right? So I started adapting to, you know, people around me were fighting or being violent and type of stuff. So I had to, not to say it wasn't me, but it was more of a adaptation to where it's like, okay, I had to become that person. You know, I had to become fighting. I had to get into gang banging and things like that, or I had to say where I was from or whatever the case may be. So it's just adapting to my environment. So when I started doing that, at the time, so to go back, I had had a family member, and I met this family member in the 5th grade, and like we're going through this stuff together. Like we're lame together, you know. For real, we're lame together. We're playing these video games together, and we went through our street phase together. But except he stayed on the south side, and I stayed on the east side. So I'm making a name on the east side while he's making a name on the south side, and we're going into this together. And I think my life changed in the 10th grade when I got to the 10th. This is when it really started turning like up. So in the 10th grade, we're going back to school, and my dad's like, "Hey, look, I can't buy you any school clothes." I'm like, "What are you talking about? You can't buy me any school clothes?" And he's like, stuff's rough right now. We're filing bankruptcy on the house. Got to pay out. Remember, my dad's a drug dealer, so he's scooping up money to pay all these fees to get us in a new house. He's like, "I can't get you any school clothes." And I'm like, damn. So I'm telling my cousin, who's at the time is my best friend, like we talk about everything. And I'm like, "Hey man, I'm about to go to school without no school clothes." And now his family isn't, you know, he's in the same predicament as me. He's not rich or anything. So he can't necessarily, you know, provide me any clothes or no. I mean, we kids, right? So he like, "Man, we're gonna figure this out." So he ended up robbing someone. Yeah. This word got real in the 10th grade.
Robbing someone.
Yeah, he robbed somebody. He actually robbed somebody that was, you know, I would say considered a friend. And he split the money with me. Like everything that we made, he did it all himself, and he split the money with me. And when he split the money with me, that I would say bought my loyalty, because it was like you did something to the extreme that you never did in your life, and you gave me the positive from it was the cash, so I can get some school clothes. Got some school clothes. Went back to school, and then after that, it was like, oh, we did it one time. Like we ain't about to have to ask for no money again. We about to keep doing this. You get what I'm saying? We about to keep doing this. So it became a thing. I never asked my parents for money from the 10th grade on. I can't think of one time from the 10th grade where I actually asked my parents for $1. So 10th grade.
How were you getting money?
We was doing illegal stuff. We would gamble, robbing. For example, like I remember, it's been over 7 years. I can talk about this. So, so I remember.
Statute of limitation.
Yeah. So I remember back in the day, the flea market was big, right? And the flea market was a big place to go in the shop. So, you know, you can get like $30 Air Forces there, whatever the case may be. And what we will do is we will follow the people from the flea market and watch where they store their stuff, and then we'll just go get it. And then but what we'll do is we became entrepreneurs with it. We'll supply the neighborhood. We'll not only get it for ourselves, we'll say, hey, look, instead of going to the flea market, come here. And we'll supply the neighborhood with shoes, Jordans, clothes, anything that you can think about is for a cheaper price. Why would you go all the way over here when you get the same products on merch? So now we making $400, $500 a weekend. Just boom. Yeah, the 10th. No, this was 11th grade. We making $400 or $500.
At the time, that was a lot of money.
Yeah.
Even now, there are people working that are not making that amount of money in a week.
Yeah, we going to school fresh. We got wads of money, you know, and we just like it's the come up. Like we like, oh man, we went from being lame in middle school, almost went broke, and then now we just making all this crazy money. So at the time, you know, I'm in my phase where my dad is like noticing I'm changing, and he's like, you know, where are you getting your money from? What are you doing? You know, he's like, you're stupid. He's telling me I'm stupid. Like what you're doing is dumb. This isn't his ideal of me making money. He like, damn, I did it wrong. So I think so we robbing. So the first time I got arrested, I was 15. We in Whitehall. It's these pop machines, and people don't understand, and nobody do this, but pop machines, if they're sold out, that pop machine has $1,000 plus in it. Yeah, quarters add up, dollars add up. So we break into one pop machine, we get like $1,100. Yeah, it was crazy. We get like $1,100. We're free and clear, and like, man, it's another pop machine. So Go ahead.
So what is a pod machine? Because I have people that work that are not Americans.
A soda machine, so a vending machine.
Pod machine. Oh, the vending machine.
Soda machine, a vending machine where you get soft beverages from. You can drink, where you can push the button, you pay, and then it comes down and gives you a refreshment. So that's a soda machine. So we break it in one, we get like $1,100. So when we're walking to the car, see some people at the park, and they're like, "Oh, they seen what we did," and this was. Like, God works. Like, I don't never question God at all. Like, it's just so crazy. I'm a very spiritual person. I have a connection. And they're like, oh, it's another one on the other side. I never listen to my mind. I always listen to my body. I'm like, no. My body immediately said, no, don't go to the other. But they like, who I'm with, like, oh, we about to get $2,200. I'm like, nah, I'm not going over there. They're like, we going over there. So I'm like, all right, you know what? I'm with y'all. You know how kids are. They're peer pressuring you. Oh, you scared. I'm like, oh, man, let's go over there. We go over there. I see a cruiser creeping up through the grass. And I say, hey, that's the cops. We immediately start running. We get caught. All of us get caught. They caught us with the money.
All of you.
All that. They catch us with the money, all that. So we get down. They get us in the car. And all I'm thinking about is, oh, they about to call my parents. Like, I don't care about jail. I'm like, oh, they about to call my parents. It's over. And they end up taking us downtown. They call my parents. We get in the car. My dad's cussing me out. My mom's mad at me. And I stopped talking to my cousin at the time. I stopped talking to him. My dad, like, you ain't hanging with him. They think he's the bad influence, right? So, but I never say somebody else can't make me do something I don't want to do. So they think he's a bad influence. So I stopped talking to him for a minute. Eventually, we get back cool. So I end up getting a job. I turn 16. I end up getting a job. So I'm like, all right, I'm not robbing no more. Because I got a job, right? So I got a job. So I'm like, all right, I'm not robbing no more. I mean, he like, you got a job. So then he gets a job. So now we're good. We're working. And then I'm just thinking, like, this ain't enough money.
Because you've seen so much money.
Yeah.
And what job was it?
So my first job was a nursing home at a dietary aid home, which was pretty cool.
How much were you making at a time?
Man, I was probably only making every 2 weeks. I was making like $7 an hour, so like every 2 weeks. And I would work double shifts on the weekend. I would bring home like $500 every 2 weeks, but I'm going from making $400 to $500 on the weekend to $500 every 2 weeks. And I'm working. I'm talking about I get up for school from 7. I get out at 3. I got to be to work at 4. I get off at 8. I'm burnt out. And then on the weekends, I'm waking up at 7 to work to 4, to work to 3, sleeping in my car. And then I'll go back in at 4 to 8. And I'm only bringing in $500-$600. And I'm like, this not it. Nah. I need, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, this not it. Like, I need some more money. So we jump back in the game again. We back doing, you know, what we normally do while I have a job. Like, now it's to the point where people is hiring us to rob people. Like, yeah, it's people like, oh, I know. Look, you want to make some money? I know where it's at.
So you were robbing people at gunpoint or how?
Nah, I don't think I never stuck nobody up. But I would break and enter in people's cribs, or I don't know how, or it was more being there. I don't think I never stuck nobody up or anything like that. I would hope not. I can't remember, but yeah, we would do things like that, and people were hiring us like, oh yeah, like, hey, look, they got a lot of stuff in their house, just break me off, or what do we get? They would get a percentage of it. Yeah, it was crazy. People used to you'll be surprised how many people would set people up to get robbed, or they'll take them out to eat or something like that, and we'll bet.
Oh, so they were like more like entrepreneurs, like the middleman.
Yeah,
like,
the middleman.
I know this person, he has money.
He got a safe, he sells a lot of drugs. Hey, look, I know he going to this party tonight. Y'all can.
So these were like more like friends and family members of these people.
Yeah, don't trust friends and family. You'll be shocked. You'll be surprised. Hey, look, I know bro about to be out here tonight. Y'all can go ahead, and we'll be like, bet. Like, all right. So, you know, we'll do things like that. And then over time, it got to the point where we didn't need the money. We were just doing it just to do it now. It was just like, now we're just doing it.
Adrenaline.
It was like I was chasing a high of really just doing. It was crazy. So, fast forward, graduate, still doing the same thing. We go to my second case. Like I done got away with a lot of stuff.
This was after high school?
Nah, that was probably still in high school. After high school, I catch my second case. I'm still going from the 10th grade on. So yeah,
man.
Yeah, we had a streak. We had a run. We had a run. We had like a
man.
We had like a
These were kids.
Yeah, and it became normal. But it became normal. It became a lifestyle. Like, oh, okay, like we're about to go do this, or we need some club money. Let's go do this, or whatever the case may be. So,
if you're watching this video and you have not subscribed to this channel, then I don't know what you're waiting for. Please subscribe to this channel because we have mind-blowing testimonies. We've shot some amazing testimonies that we can't wait to just release it. We are releasing once a week. Hopefully, eventually, we'll be able to release 2 or 3 times in a week. So please click on the subscribe button and click on the notification bell to get notified each and every time I release a new video. And also, if you're looking for a team, a media company to shoot your commercials, to shoot your weddings, to shoot your parties, or to give you some headshots for your flyers and everything, reach out to my team. That is DH Multimedia. On Instagram, you can DM us or you can give us a call and we would take a very good care of you. Let's get into the testimony.
I think this is after high school. Still working. So everybody goes to college. So I'm sitting in the auditorium. I'm watching all these people get these checks and they going to college. And I'm sitting here like, I'm about to be working a job. I ended up working at Walmart too, but I'm about to be working these jobs. I'm about to be doing the same thing. I'm discouraged. I'm clapping for everybody though, because I'm happy because these are my friends. They're going on to better their lives. And I'm sitting right here thinking like, I'm not about to become nothing. Like, and it's registering to me. So now it's sinking in. I guess it was like a first stage of like depression. So in my mind, it's like, I got to make more money so I can look like I'm doing something, right?
But why didn't you, like, you never wanted to go to college?
My parents never even graduated high school, so it's not.
Oh, so you graduating from high school was like an achievement.
Yeah, like an achievement. Like it was celebrated.
You did better than your parents.
Yeah, you can. My sister went to college, but they couldn't tell me to go to college because it's like, you can't tell me to do something you didn't do. So I'm already in that mind state and they're already happy that at least I didn't even care about graduating high school, to be honest with you. I almost didn't graduate high school. I didn't go to first period so I had a car in my senior year. I didn't go to first period at all. Like I never went. Like I would always be late because I had an Apollo on 22s. I was living life. Like I used to pick girls up from other schools and then I'd drop them off to their school. Then I'd go to school. Like, oh, what? Yeah, it was crazy. It was real crazy.
You would just pick them up and drop them off.
Yeah, I'll drop them off to school.
You're like just a glorified Uber driver.
Yeah. Before it was Uber. So yeah, like, or I would kick it, or my dad would take my mom to work, and when my dad would take my mom to work, my dad wouldn't leave work. He would usually sit up there with her. So they can come back to the house. I had a whole house to me till like 3:00. So I would kick it. And my dad was kind of cool with it. He wasn't really cool with it till I got my truancy papers and stuff like that. And he was like, "You missed 36 days of school. What are you doing?" Or you were late 36 times and stuff. And so when it came time to graduate, I didn't care about graduating. I actually told my mom that I wasn't going to graduate. And I was like, I don't care. Like, I got a job. Like, I'm going to just go get another job. And my mom kind of like I seen a disappointment in her. I seen her like upset. Like, you're not graduating high school. Like, you're at the finish line. And so this dude, his name's Coach Gaddis. They called him Coach Gaddis. And he still doesn't know till this day. But Coach Gaddis said, look, I'm going to give you a shot to graduate. He said, go write me a 700-page essay on someone black, and then go write me, I forgot, another 700-page essay on something. I had 2 days. I'm at the library. I had to call off work. I didn't go to work. I'm at the library 2 days because I don't want my mom disappointed in me. And I bring them back to him. He count the words. I'm talking about, I did it on Malcolm X, and Malcolm X is one of my idols now, by the way. I did it. He counted the words. Then he counted the words. One of them, he said, okay. And then he counted the words on the other one. He said, this one's short, which was crazy. So I went back to the library in the school at lunch, and I gave it back to him. And then I brought it back, he counted it again, and he ripped them up in front of me.
He didn't read it.
He didn't even read it. And I really tried to like make it good. He ripped it up in front of me. Then he said, okay, I'll give you a D, you'll graduate. And I was like, you ain't even gonna read it? He said, the same way you treated this class the same way I'm gonna treat your paper. He said, but let me give you a bit of advice. If you apply yourself like you did to my class out in the real world, you won't make it past 25. He said, probably not even 20. He said, but if you change your life, you'll become something. And it always registers to me. And I'm just sitting right there like, man, you know, I'm a kid, like, all right. But down later in life, it always played back to me. So graduate high school, still doing my stuff, still robbing, whatever the case may be. I'm trying to make it look like I got motion because all these people are, they're at college, they got their friends, and I'm sitting right here and I'm just like, I don't got nothing. Like, I don't have anything. And so after that, like, I get arrested again. So yeah. So I get arrested. So I got caught with a gun this time. So I got caught with a gun. I was on the way to Cleveland. To party, and I had a gun in the car because I've always carried a gun.
Because of what you do?
Yeah. I always carried it. It's normal. It's natural. Like, we used to work. I mean, the environment you come from, it's normal to me to carry a gun. So carry a gun. We all get arrested. Me, my cousin, and then my other cousin at the time was in the backseat. We all get arrested. It's my car. Before I left, my dad said, don't take that gun with you. I'd rather get caught with it without it. That's what I said. And I got caught with it. Get arrested with the gun. Going there. I end up going. It was called Cuyahoga County Jail. You can still look up this. It's an article online right now. You look it up. It says, and I never even shared this, so you're getting the exclusive. I shared it in my documentary, but it says Brecksville County, and they still got the thing. It says I think it says 18-year-old gets caught with a gun. It's some stupid stuff. Like they're clowning me in the paper. And nice jail though. Great jail. I got orange juice and Bob Evans in the morning.
You went to jail.
Yeah. I got arrested. My mom and dad's down there. My mom's crying like, you're about to go to jail for, and I'm just like, Mom, this is what I do. This is what my life is supposed to be. Ply said, I used to listen to Plies, and Ply said every person got to show his head in due time. And I believe that. I was in that mind state like, oh, I'm going to go once, but I didn't know I was going to go this early. And so.
How long were you in jail for?
I wasn't in jail that long. I was in jail like 6 days maybe. Because I had to go. So in Brecksville, it's like a subdivision of Cuyahoga County. So if you get arrested in one of these small places, you got to go to court. So I got arrested on the weekend, and then they have to send me over to the big boy jail, which is Cuyahoga, where I got to go to court. So I'm in there. I'm in a van with people. This is my first time like in big boy jail. So I think I'm 18. I'm like 135, 140. I'm small. Like,
you were scared?
Nah, I wasn't scared because I knew what came with it. But I'm just like, geez, this is real. So, my dad always told me, like, look a man in his eyes, he groomed me for these type of situations. So I'm going, I'm in there and I'm talking to people, and I'm talking to a guy. His name was Wolf. He's like, I'm about to go do 9 years. And I did the math, and I'm like, but he doing it normal. He doing push-ups. He getting in shape. And I was like, boy, what you doing that for? He said, man, I'm going away for 9. He was like, I'm getting in shape right now because when I touch the yard, I already want to be in shape. Now I'm like, damn, like, this is real. I mean, I might go to jail. I might go to prison, right? It's no longer jail. I might go to prison. So I'm being respectful to the guards, whatever. I'm talking to everybody. And it was an experience for me because when I got there, I'm in Cleveland. A lot of times in Cleveland people don't like other cities. Yeah, and they'll tell you that. They'll say they're cool with Columbus, so they say, but we don't like Cincinnati or whatever. So, it's 20 of them. It's one of me, and I'm 140. I'm skinny, right? So, experience in there went in there, went to court. It was cool. It wasn't no bad experience. Never go to jail though, y'all. Don't.
So, for those who don't know, what's the difference between jail and prison?
Jail is a temporary place where you're arrested, where you're probably going on a trial or you're coming back, transferring from prison. It's just more or less of a place that you go to figure out. You may have a bond to get out, or you may be awaiting to be sentenced to prison. So it's like an in between. It's a middle. And so for my instance, I had caught a case, but until that case was actually goes through trial and stuff like that, I could have either sat in there or I got a bond, which I got a bond and I bonded out until while my trial was pending over, so they can come up with a verdict, whether I was gonna go to prison or whether I was gonna be able to get parole, which parole means staying home. So I'm in there. I'm still in this high school mind state, right? So we go to court and we're in court and this guy's like, hey man, my bond's $1 million. He's asking me like I've been before, like, so he's like, hey, my bond's $1 million. You think I could put up a house or something? And I'm like, nigga, you got $1 million house? And everybody starts laughing. Right? Because I'm thinking it's high school, but it's not registering me. This man has $1 million bond. $1 million bond, that's like murder. Or he did something crazy, his bond is so high. So it's not registering me. So we go back, I'm playing chess. I like to hang around older people. So playing chess, and the dude that I'm playing chess with was like, hey man, like so and so is upset about that joke you said earlier. And I'm just like,
he thought you were joking.
Now I'm scared. Like now I'm scared. Now I'm like, oh shoot, like hold on, and this is jail. You can't go talk to nobody. I'm like, hey, I didn't mean it like that, because now you look scared. So you can't show fear once this goes adapting to my environment. So now he's like, all right, you just be careful. Sit over here and play with me, so boom, dude eventually is upset, and he comes up and he tries to swing at me, long story short. But the guy tells me like, hey, watch out. So I get up, I move, and my reaction is to immediately hit you. So I hit him, thank God, because this dude was a big dude. Like this dude was a big dude. Like I told you, I'm real small. And then the security guard immediately comes and grabs me and it takes me out. So they take me out and they take me to a hole, which a hole is where you go if you get in a fight or anything like that. And from the hole, they released me out. My dad had already paid my bond because I had court this morning. So my dad already paid my bond. So immediately I get out. So I don't never got to see this person again. So driving back home, then my dad like, you got to change your life. You can't be doing this. I got you. This is where I realized I was dumb, because my dad had to pay my bond. All that money that I was getting, I was blowing.
How much was your bond?
It was like $2,500, like that you had to pay. So it was really $25,000. He just paid 10%.
10%.
Right. So he's like, hey, you got my money. And I'm like, I don't got $2,500. He like, you in the streets and you don't got $2,500? He said, are you dumb? He said, you got a job. So I'm thinking like, I'll just give it to you on my next check. Then my job fires me. I had a no call, no show for 2 days. They fired me. So I'm like, damn, I don't got no job now. Like, so now I'm really out here just like figuring out where I need to go. And then my cousin at the time, he's still in there. He ended up having to do 30 days for something crazy. I don't know what happened. And then now I'm out here. So now you got to go back to the neighborhood and be like, they're like, how are you out of jail? And he's up there doing 30 days. So now they questioning if I told on him or something like that. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, I got a bond. Like, I paid my bond. It's not my fault that he don't have no bond money. And they're looking at you like, well, you should bond him out. I don't even got no money for my own bond. You get what I'm saying? And this is where becoming an adult registers to me. It's like, oh, like the streets is a myth. Like, this isn't a real place, because people are going to say whatever they want to say. So long story short, he gets back out. He gets out. I think his girl picks him up at the time, and we back cool. We talked about it, whatever the case may be. And I'm still doing the same thing because I don't got a job now.
So you still selling drugs?
No, I never sold drugs. I'm still robbing.
Robbing. Oh, you didn't sell drugs.
Yeah, never sold drugs. Never sold drugs. I tried that one time, and then the dude didn't pay me. We beat him up, and I said, "This ain't for me." Yeah, I was like, "This ain't for me." The dude didn't pay you. The dude didn't pay me, and we beat him up, and I said, "It was not for me." Like, I was just like, "I'm not about to. I don't have my money." And the zoo beat up, and I didn't want to do it. It's not for me. So never, drugs wasn't me. But so my cousin, so we're back cool. So in the midst of all this, which I missed, was I was supposed to go to the Army. I was supposed to be deployed September 19th. My birthday is September 18th. I was supposed to be deployed September 19th. I got the case September 11th. So I said God works in mysterious ways. Like, it wasn't meant for me to go to the Army. So I end up beating that case. I end up beating that case, not beating it. I got a discharge. I had to go through a program where I had to do 300 hours of community service. So I had to pay $300. Now, note, I'm broke. I don't have no money, right? So I don't have the $300 to pay them. So I had to do that's like me working $1 an hour.
You're working 300 hours?
Yeah, they said $300 for Rested to pay us to get this off your record. They sealed it, or work 300 hours. I'm like, I don't got $300. Like, I'm about to just work the 300 hours. So had to work at the Salvation Army. It was over on Parsons. I had to work in the back, and that was one of the best things that ever happened to me.
Hold on a minute. So you were doing all this, like robbing people and all of that, and you didn't even have $300?
Just blowing it.
So it's like easy come, easy go.
Easy come. That's why I think I said this in the beginning of the interview or before we even start talking. Drug dealers, like people that's in the streets, aren't very smart because it's a fast-paced life. It's a I get this money, I'm gonna go to the club, I'm gonna buy this fit, I'm gonna buy this chain, I'm gonna buy this gun, and then I'm gonna live this lifestyle. And then when the stuff hits the fan, you don't even got lawyer money, you don't got your kids set, your mortgage or whatever, or your wherever you rent out ain't paid up, and now you're borrowing from people that's supposed to be your gang, and they don't got it to give to you because if they get caught, then they gotta borrow from somebody. So a lot of people that's in the streets aren't intelligent. It's only a select few that's in the streets that are intelligent enough to save up their money or put it up, and those are usually the people that are low key, that's driving the beat up Hondas and not worried about the flashy lifestyle. They're putting it up. One of my favorite movies, actually my favorite movie, is Paid in Full. And that movie, it was three people. It was a person named Ace, and Ace was the person making the most money. But Ace didn't care about the flashy stuff or not like that. He put all his money up, saved it, wore regular clothes. Now Mitch, a lot of people compare me to Mitch, and I understand why. Mitch is a flashy dude. You see I'm getting this money, you gonna see me. You gonna see the chain, you gonna see the clothes, you gonna see the cars. And Mitch was a cool person. Then you have somebody named Rico. Rico is, I guess you can say, the muscle. Hey, I'm getting money, and I'm with the violence. You get what I'm saying? And a lot of people go to the Mitch and the Rico stance of life because it's not that I'm getting money, it's I want you to see me getting this money. If I'm making all this money, why can't I flaunt it? Right? But they don't understand what comes with flaunting it. Flaunting it comes with cases. You know, you getting put up and throwing your life away. Like, I'm not here to ball for a summer. I want to be here for 10. So the ones who ball for 10 summers are the ones who actually put the money up. The other ones just are infatuated with the lifestyle.
Hey there, sorry for the interruption, but time and time again, I keep getting phone calls, I keep getting DMs about the type of cameras to use, the type of lights to use, what are the best lenses to use. So I've made a list in the description. If you're just starting out, you're just using your phone to shoot, and you have only $100, I've made the list for you, the type of light to use, the type of light and stand you need to shoot your contents. But for the intermediate level, if you have less than $1,000 to spend, I have a list of equipment for you. And if you want to spend more than $1,000 to get the best equipment out there, then those are also down for you. And I'll leave my personal equipment, the type of camera I use. I'm a Canon shooter. I only use Canon. That's what I started with. So the equipment that I use personally, I've listed them down there for you. Also, for my fellow content creators, I have good news for you. Don't tell anyone. It's a secret between you and I. So I just stumbled on this platform, which makes posting content very easily. Imagine creating content and you click a button and it goes to all the platforms. You don't have to go to Instagram, then move to TikTok, then move to Facebook, then move to YouTube, then move to LinkedIn to post your content. You post it once on one platform and it distributes it for you. That's amazing, right? This platform is called Metricool. I just found out and I was blown away by how fast and effective it is. And it is for free. Yes, it is for free. unless you are a social media manager for a lot of accounts, like 2, 3, 4, 5 accounts, then you're making money, right? So they got to charge you for your service. But if you're like me and you only have one platform that you're managing, then it is for free. I've left that link in this description. Just click on it, sign up, and you're good to go. If you have enough content, you can schedule all the posts for like months and months ahead, and it will post automatically for you. That's mind-blowing, right? Yeah. Okay, let's get into the testimony.
Then fast forward, I'm doing it at a little better pace now because I'm like, all right, I can't catch another case. I think I start working. I think once that went away. Oh, so I'm at the Salvation Army, and I'm talking to these old dudes, and they kind of it was like a fraternity. Weird, but yeah, it was weird. So they did this thing. You know how fraternities do hazing, where they'll see, you know, what you'll do. So they used to be by Krispy Kremes. Now the Krispy Kremes would throw away donuts in the trash can, but they would throw like sealed boxes of donuts away. So they never really touched the trash or anything like that. And they will go dig them out, the boxes out the trash, and they would bring them over to the Salvation Army and they would eat them because, I mean, they were fresh donuts, don't get me wrong. And one time they asked me to eat, like, out the box. And I was just like, no, I don't want to eat that. But I ate it, right? Then I talked to an older guy, and he was like, he basically said, me eating that donut let him know that I was one of them. He was like, but look, I see your dad come pick you up every day. My dad would drop me off and pick me up. I had my own car. My dad was still, like, I'm still his son. Pick me up, drop me. He said, I see your dad picks you up every day and drops you off. He said, for you to even have a dad, that's a blessing. You get what I'm saying? He said, for you to have parent, you know, I told you my story. He said, don't end up in here. He said, if you stay in the streets, you're going to end up in here. He said, I don't do drugs and I don't drink. He said, I'm institutionalized. He said, if I don't have a schedule, I'll end up back in jail. So my mindset is just staying here because there's people that live there to stay in here, work, and I got a schedule versus going back to jail. Most of these people are alcoholics. Most of these people are on drugs or whatever, and they just need a place to stay. So they come in here and work. He said, do you want to live here the rest of your life? He said, because you're going to be here, you're going to be in jail, whatever the case may be. He said, but your parents love you, you know, change that. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to change my life. Let me go out there and change my life. I was on a good track for probably about a year, maybe 2. I'm back at it again. I'm back at it again. But I'm on a lower key scale now. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna be smart with this. And people don't understand there's nothing smart about the streets. There's nothing. I don't care how long you got away. Everybody has their time that comes. So
was it the addiction to the fast life or the money, or what was it that was just pulling you back to that place?
I think it was being an authority. I think it was more or less of people knowing, like, oh, I get money. Like, that was my mindset. Like, oh, you know, I get money. I mean, you know, I don't really need this job. I can, you know, I'm running it up out here. You just don't know what I'm doing. I mean, you probably know I don't sell drugs because that's not my thing. But oh no, T, like I like hearing people say my name. Like at the time, my name was, I mean, T's my name now, but at the time, you know, people would call me. My nickname was Juju. Was a family nickname. Long story, but they'd be like, "Oh, nah, Juju getting it out here," or whatever the case may be, and it felt good to have that acknowledgement from, you know, like I said, I grew up out east, but I was from the south side, so if I, you know, getting shown love. Mitch and Paid in Full, he said something that stuck with me, and he said I be feeling like one of them NBA players. He said, if I lead a game, is the fans still gonna love me? So kind of left the game, but it was like I wasn't getting showed the same love. So I'm like, man, let me get back out here. You know, so I don't remember what year it was, but the third time I got arrested and the final time I got arrested, right? So a robbery transpires and my name gets brought up because obviously I'm in me and my cousin like this, like since 5th grade, we like this. Name gets brought up.
So were you part of the robbery?
Nah, I wasn't part of the robbery.
Oh, but it was your cousin.
This is my cousin. So, you know,
yeah, if your cousin is there,
so they're like, oh, like they always together. So he gotta have something to do with it. So boom, name get brought up. At the time, the guy we were getting tattoos from this guy. I don't even remember the dude's name. And, you know, we were exchanging some of the stuff for the tattoos. So the dude started selling stuff online. So the person that got the stuff took from him was like, that's my stuff, right? But he didn't tell him that. So we didn't know that the dude's uncle was like the head detective. Yeah, it was crazy. The head detective.
Hold on, you were getting tattooed and
yeah, we were exchanging, like we was giving, like he was receiving stolen property to get us some tattoos. Like,
you give him some of the
shoes,
stuff,
hats, clothes, whatever, and then he will be like, "Oh, okay, yeah, this is enough for this." You know what I'm saying? So we'll get these tats, and bro would so bro started selling it to make his money off of it, and got caught up on Instagram, whatever the case may be. So I guess the dude was like already ready to go back, not ready to go back to jail, but if he got caught with something else, he was about to go do a lot of time. So boom, they pressed him, and he didn't want to say my cousin's name because if we talking about me and my cousin, my cousin was more feared than me. If we talking about paid in full, he was the Rico. You know what I'm saying? I was Mitch. I was just a flashy person getting money. He was the person that, hey, I'm getting money too, but I also can get violent. So the person said my name. So it's like, what? Huh? Instead of my cousin's name, said my name, right? So I'm like, but this is all kind of in the discovery. I don't know this at the time. So I'm sleeping one day, and I still have a job though. No, I still have a job. So I'm sleeping one day at my parents' crib. I got some of the stuff in the crib, and my dad calls me. Now here's a funny story. Every time I've ever been arrested, I wore these yellow sweats. Every time I've always been arrested, I had these yellow sweats on. No, I burned these sweats after. I promise you, I burned these sweats after the time I got arrested. It's crazy. Since a teen, I had my first arrest, I was in these yellow sweats. My second arrest, I was in the middle. My third, I burned those sweats right after I got out. Literally, I put gas on them, set them on fire. But anyway, so my dad calls me. My dad's like, hey, Juju, the cops is out here. They want you to come outside. My dad, love my dad to death. My dad lies a lot. Dad, get off my phone. Click. Go to sleep. Calls me back. I said, Dad, I'm not. And I hear a walkie in the background. Like, man, we're getting him out now. I was just like, oh, shit. It's really cops outside. So now my mom is like, there's a tank on the line.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, my mom's like, there's a tank on the line. I'm like, I'm shocked. Like, all right, put my shoes on, throw my beater on, walk out, open the door. It's two cops, like, with guns, like, come out. I see a very big tank on the lawn. Whole street blocked off. And I'm just like, what the heck is going on? Now, note, I passed some stuff, but prior to them coming there, the person that was doing my tattoos that called me and said he wanted to buy all the stuff. So I was dating a girl at the time, and I'm like, all right, I had her drop him off. It was actually a trap for them to catch me dropping the stuff off to him, and they was gonna arrest me right there. But I sent her because I had to work.
Hold on. Reverse it.
Right. It's crazy.
What happened? Repeat that again.
So the tattoo dude was already caught up with the cops, so he was working with the cops, and they told him he said, hey, yeah, bring me all the stuff over. I got $3,000 for it. I'm like, oh, shit, bet. All right. But I couldn't do it. I had to go to work. So I had my girl at the time. I said, hey, you go drop all that stuff off and then get the money or whatever. She's like, all right, dude, don't answer the door. I should have known something was up then, but it don't register me because I'm going to work. So he hit me again. So he hit me again. And the backtrack even for that, the cops had entered I had an apartment before I moved back in my mom's basement. They had entered my house at the time illegally, but I was moving. So I had moved the stuff already to my mom's. They punched a hole in my wall. And then I was cool with the maintenance person. He said, hey, I'm not supposed to be telling you this, but a guy came here today, entered your house, a white dude, and he walked right back out. And I was like, oh, he worked for the business? He said, no, I don't know who he was. So it still didn't register me that this is the cops, because I'm like, I don't know what's going on. Now, note, my cousin called me and told me, prior, like, hey, look, I know they're going to be looking for that stuff. Get rid of it. Like, he told me, like, to get rid of all the stuff. So we would have never even caught a case. I'm like, I ain't getting rid of this stuff. So it's not really his fault, because he told me to get rid of it. So
you were part of the robbery, but you had the stuff on you.
Yeah, I had the stuff. That's the thing. I had the stuff. Like I was like, oh, okay, I'm selling it.
So he robbed the place and gave you some of the stuff?
Yeah, I had the stuff. Yeah, it was like, oh, you can get it off and you can make a profit. Just break me off X, Y, and Z. It was like, oh, bad. All right, this is what we do. This you giving me something to get off, and you're getting a profit. It's easy. So plus he knew I like shoes and stuff and things like that. So it's more or less I could have paid him for it, but he like, hey, you get it off, we sell it, we'll work it out. All right, cool. So, anyways, I'm walking outside, and then they got it's literally a tank on them. I'm thinking like this is gonna sound crazy. I'm thinking like, oh, I'm the biggest gangster in the world now. I got a tank on my mom's lawn. I got the whole street blocked off. I got people I went to school with next door. Y'all thinking you would have thought I killed like 10 people. Like, I'm like, so in my mind it's messed up. I'm thinking like, oh, this is credibility. I made it. Like, oh, I'm a real live gangster. And we get to the car. Detective, I'm waiting like 30 minutes. My mom crying, and the detective get in the car. First thing he said, look, I ain't here to bullshit you. We don't want you. We want your cousin. We know who did it. All thing I'm gonna smack you for is receiving stolen property. You'll walk. He said you'll walk. Tell me that your cousin did it. You'll testify. Get him signed right here. And I'll let you out these handcuffs right now. We'll take you to trial another day for receiving stolen property. I said, what time is it? He said, 7 o'clock. I said, take me downtown before 8 o'clock so I can make court in the morning. He like, what? Just repeated myself. I said, take me downtown before 8 o'clock so I can make court in the morning. He like, your mom's over there crying. We got all the stuff. Blah, 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 this. If I take you downtown, we're going to smack you with all these charges.
Oh, so they caught you with the stuff.
Yeah, the stuff. Yeah, they got, my mom and them, my mom's so scared. She signed a waiver for them to go in the house or whatever. And they caught all the stuff. They couldn't go in the house. My mom signed a search warrant, which is fine. I mean, I shouldn't have had this stuff at my mom's house anyway. This is the street logic of people being dumb. Why would I put this stuff in my mom's house and put my mom at jeopardy? You know what I'm saying? Stupid stuff. So, he's like, your mom's over there crying. You're throwing your life away. And I'm just like, and it's funny because I'm clowning with the cops at the time, because at the time I'm making decent money at my job. I'm making $21 an hour. So the cops like, you make more than me. You doing this dumb stuff? And I'm just like, yeah, that's dumb, ain't it? And they were like, yeah, that's pretty dumb. He was like, you sound smart. Sound like you got
making $21 an hour.
I was making $21 an hour at the time. Yeah, I was working at a warehouse.
That was pretty decent.
That was a lot of money. Great. Yeah, that was great. And he was like, yeah, that's more than me, man. I'm gonna be honest with you, you're pretty dumb. And and I'm just sitting there like, I am dumb. Like, this is crazy. So I tell the cop, like, man, take me down there. He like, if I take you down there, we're spanking you way more charges. I said, as long as you get me down there for 8, do what you gotta do. Because I'm not about to tell on my cousin who told me throw the stuff away. Like, so I'm like, we get down there, I get down there. I'm down there for like 2 days, and they gotta transfer me over to Jackson Pike, which is a workhouse. And I'm in there, and I'm like, this is where I said the prayer at. I'm in there, and I'm like, God, please, if this one last time, they're like, because my bond is $50,000. Yeah, they're like, your bond's $50,000, and once again, I'm like, I don't got $5,000. Like, what the fuck am I get this $5,000? So I'm like, God, if you get me out this one last time, I promise I'm gonna change my life. And that's the first time I ever heard God speak back to me, and I heard it. He was like, all right. And it's like, but a cop came in right after that. After I opened my eyes, and said, Arthur. He said, roll him up. I was like, what the heck? And then I was like, wow, like that means I get to get out. So the girl I was with at the time found the bells, bondsman, whatever. And I think I just bought her car cash. She put it up for collateral. So I got out. And when I got out, I was just like, all right, I gotta change my life. And when I changed my life, I had went a year without working. I stopped talking to my cousin. Like, I basically told him, like, bro, I gotta cut you off. Like, every time I got in trouble, arrested, or anything in my life, you was there. I'm not blaming you because I make my own decisions, but I feel like my loyalty to you has ran out because you bought me. You did that one thing for me in the 10th grade, and ever since then, I've paid for that. that I've got some school clothes for the year, but ever since then I've paid for that for over years. It's like people don't understand. Like you may do something to get away with it today, but it's always gonna come back. Like it's gonna come back tenfold, no matter how long your run is. So I feel like at that time it was like, if you get into one more thing after this, your life is gonna be over. And I didn't wanna, I didn't really wanna, I didn't want that to happen to me. So what I did was I cut everybody off around me. Once I cut everybody off around me, I started to elevate. I tried going to school. I tried going to college. College really want me. Still, I never liked the school. College really want me. Um, I was able to end up getting a job because even though I went through a diversion program for my first charge as an adult, so it was already sealed. So technically, I didn't have a record. So my second time, I had got another lawyer and I pleaded down to a misdemeanor versus a felony because it was it was like 2 or 3 felonies. But my lawyer, that's why you always should get a paid lawyer, was like, hey, this is nonsense. Y'all only caught him with the receiving stolen property. There's no proof that he did any of this. He said, so either y'all gonna give me this receiving stolen property charge, and he has no prior record, and he's in college. I was in college. I had a job. And he was like, he hasn't done anything in a long time, whatever the case may be. And they're like, all right. So they gave me a misdemeanor. So when I had my misdemeanor, I got fired from my job again. So I'm on my dad's couch going to school for refund checks. I wasn't even kidding about school. I had to get by. I'm sleeping on my dad's couch. My mom kicked me out. So my dad has another apartment, like down the street. They weren't together at the time, but he was still paying the bills over there, paying where he was at. But I'm sleeping on the couch for a year. A whole year I'm sleeping on the couch. No job. I'm going to school for refund checks, all that. Like I'm broke. But my dad is, loaning me money. I had to pay my dad all that money back. I had to pay my dad about $9,000 back. Yeah, it was crazy. How I paid him back the $9,000, I had got unemployment and I had got my student loans and my taxes back. And then he said, it's time to pay the piper. I had to give him all that money back. I thought I was up. I had to pay him all back. And after that, I really just changed my life. So I got an opportunity to work at the post office. So I was like, man, when I'm able to get a job, I'm gonna get a good job. When I get this great job, I'm going to change my life. So I ended up being at the post office for like 6 years. Worked my way up into management. I got the opportunity to move to Atlanta. I was at the post office for like 6 years. Met a lot of connections, met a lot of people, started a business while I was at the post office. So it's a completely different person now. I'm a full adult now. Got a family. I mean, everything's good. Never thought about like stealing or robbing or nothing again. Went to Atlanta. This is where my life kind of changes again, I guess. You kind of always got things where your life catapults, and this is where it catapulted into the right direction. Went to Atlanta. I started seeing people make a lot of money. Like I'm seeing people pull up and younger than me pull up in BMWs and all. So I'm thinking like, oh, they scamming, I'm like, they scamming, they're doing something illegal. And I'm talking to people, and at the time I had an app called Robinhood. My guy Adrian showed me Robinhood, and I was investing in stocks, but I would make money. I'm like, oh man, this is making money thing. So I have a shoe fetish. I love shoes. So instead of me buying crazy shoes while I was there, every time I got the urge to buy a shoe, I would buy a stock. When I would buy a stock, I would make money off the stocks. So I started investing more and more and more in the stock market. And I'm starting making money because I'm seeing all these people make money around me. So COVID came. When COVID came, everybody thought the world was gonna shut down. I'm working 16-hour days. I got blisters on my feet. I'm over 300 people. I'm not getting no sleep. I'm not happy in Atlanta because I'm not getting experience a lot.
What job were you doing at the time?
So I was a manager at the post office. Like I'm at a warehouse, but I'm over 300 employees. I'm working a horrible shift. It's like 6 p.m. to 2 a.m. Monday through Friday. I'm off Saturday. I got to come in on Sunday. So then I'm working 16-hour days, and it's to the point where I'm getting home. I got a company phone where they're calling me for these meetings. I'm not eating right. I'm not sleeping right. None of that.
Man, you're working like a doctor.
Man, what?
You're working like a doctor.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It was like, and I wasn't able to really spend my money, but that was good because I'm putting it in the stock market. It's like, oh, I got this extra $2,000. I'm dropping it in the market. So I'm like, I'm watching my money make money because at the time, so now COVID comes and I'm like, oh, I'm thinking the world about to shut down. So I obviously had to come home. So I come home to my family. And when I come home, I'm telling people like, oh, in Atlanta, they getting it like this. There's people younger than me. They got boom, 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 this, and everybody hearing me, but they not really seeing my vision. It's like you said, I thought you was in Atlanta versus Columbus because they don't see it here. And I'm like, yo, so my guy, I went to middle school with my guy, Adrian. We're not even really close friends at this point. He's like he has his friends and I have my friends, but he's the leader of his friends. I'm the leader of my friends. So it's like two alphas. And I'm back here working and I'm like, man, I gotta make some extra money, man. I'm tired.
So you moved completely over here.
Yep, I moved from Atlanta immediately back here as soon as COVID hit. I was like, I'm out of here because the world might shut down. I leave it shut down. If the world did shut down, the world gonna shut down. I don't want to be sitting in my 1-bedroom crib, tied up, not able to do nothing, not around my family. So I moved back home. And just to be, but the post office never shut down. That's the thing that people don't understand. I still had to go to work.
So you transferred to the post office here?
Yep, I took a demotion.
Oh.
It's easier to take a demotion than to transfer in the same position because there wasn't no position available. So I had to take a demotion to come back. So my pay adjusted. But now I have the knowledge of investing in all this stuff and believing that everything's possible. So I'm back here, and I'm telling people about what's going on. So I'm talking to my guy. My guy at the time, he's making 6 figures a year. And I'm like, man, I need some extra money. So he's like, hey, I know this dude I'm like, man, let's get into trucking. Like I'm trying to, well, first we thought about a clothing line, which now I got, but think about a clothing line, but now we're like, clothing ain't it. Clothing ain't gonna make no money. So I'm like, all right, what about trucking? He like, yeah, I know a guy that got a $2,000 course. I'm like, I ain't about to spend $2,000 on no course. I already don't go to college. It's not me. And he's like, I'm gonna make it work. Like, trust me, we're gonna figure it out. I just need help. Boom, I sent him $1,000 immediately. Like, all right, cash up $1,000. And he like, oh shit, you sent me $1,000. So he bought the course. We both studying it, but he's like a geek. I'm just looking just for the information. And then he's like, all right, I know what we got to do. I'm like, cool, what we got to do? He like, we need some more money. I'm like, all right, well, how much? I'm thinking like, how much we need? He like, no, we need a lot of money. So I'm like, how much we need? He said, bro, probably gonna need like $40,000 to $50,000. I was like, yeah, like 40 to 50,000. I ain't got that. I'm like, I'm about to give up. He like, no, he says, we gotta get another course. I'm like, I ain't never spent this much. I'm like, I just gave you $1,000. So he's like, this guy, him 500.
Oh, him 500.
Him 500.
Yeah. I know that guy.
That's my mentor. So he's like, you gotta get his course. And I'm like, all right, $3,500. I'm breaking it in half. I'm like, all right, that's 15. I'm like, all right, that's $1,750. He like, I'm not paying for that. He's like, you gotta get
what?
Yeah, I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm not about to. He said, it's the only way it's gonna work. So I'm like, all right. So I write him I said, man, the only way I'm getting this course is him 500. Write me back. Write him 500. I said, hey, bro, I'm thinking about getting your course. Something this. And like I told you, I'm a God person, look for signs, signals. And that same day, I had got a credit card in the mail from opening a new bank. It was only for like $6,000. And him 500 wrote me back. As soon as that card was delivered, it was weird. And I was like, oh, snap. And I was like, all right, I told him, I said, all right, bro, I'll buy the course. I bought the course on a Tuesday. By Friday, I had $18,000 in credit. And I was like, hey, I know the play. I can go get you $18,000. I got him $18,000.
Oh, so him 500, would it cost you able to get credit?
Yeah, eventually with him 500 course, I was able to leverage $250,000 in 8 months. But that first 3 days of studying, I got $18,000 from just from it's like a whole playbook on what to do. So I got 18,000 because I had good credit. So if you got like in there, it teaches you how to fix your credit. But if you already got good credit, it's over. I already had a 750 plus. I was like, oh, this is easy. Like this, the what? So when got $18,000, he got $18,000. Actually, no, I got $18,000. Then went got him 19,000. Then I got $18,000. Yeah, it was crazy. So we bought the truck. Got the truck, and then so God works. So his cousin was talking to this guy at the time, and we went to school with the guy. So I get on the phone, and I'm like, "Hey, what you doing right now?" He like, "I'm driving in the yard for FedEx." I'm like, "Wait, you got your CDLs?" He like, "Yeah." I said, "So you're not on the road or not? You in the yard?" I'm like, "How much they paying you? You looking for something else?" He like, "Yeah, I mean, what's up?" I was like, "Man, we can pay you. We trying to get our trucking business on track. What type of truck you like?" So he told us. We went and bought the truck because we wanted to fit it for the driver. Bought a sleeper, and then he was like, "Hey, I got the." He said, "Well, my uncle's already in trucking." Connected us with our mentor, he's 35. Well, he was 35 at the time. Black. Shout out Virgil. And he's making $4 million a year. Yeah, in the trucking game, making $4 million a year. He only like 35 at the time. I'm probably like 28. And I'm like, "Oh, you only a little bit older than me. You making $4 million a year. I'm making $70,000. Show me this." So bought the truck, got the driver, had the credit. In 4 months, we made $100,000 in the trucking game. 100,000, and yeah, we blew that. We definitely blew that bread. Like it was an extra $10,000 on top of our job coming profit every month. So we was blowing it. But we learned the game of entrepreneurship and how much money you can possibly make. So now with that, we paid the truck back, paid our lines of credit back. So now we got access to these lines of credit and we have a cash flow asset. Jumped out of trucking, bro. So I'm in the stock market. I already knew the economy was gonna get bad based off of how the stock market was moving. So I seen inflation in gas prices. I seen oil barrels grow up. I seen things like that. I said trucking's not probably about to be it. Jumped out of trucking, sold the asset. We split the money, and we invested in our virtual assistant business, which we still have to this day. And virtual assistants helped me start running my credit repair business. So I hired some people we have over 50 employees in the Philippines right now. They're 1099 contractors, but they run under him and me. So we took that money, put it over there. But in the meantime, so they're running my credit repair business. I helped over 10,000 people repair their credit, but I'm still in the stock market. Like that's just passive income. So I'm like, man, I'm making a decent amount of money. I think I started making like $8,000 a month. And then one month, Adrian comes to me and he's like, "Hey, next month we're making $20,000." I'm like, "What the fuck is you talking about $20,000, bro? I'm making 8 right now. I'm good. Like, what did you talk about?" And he like, "Nah, we making 20 next month." So I'm like, "All right, we'll do it." I end up making $20,000 in 2 weeks.
$20,000 in 2 weeks.
I ended up making 20,000. What I did was, I did $1,000 a day challenge. So I was already trading options. I just wasn't trading it at a high caliber. I was making like a 200, maybe like 400 a day. But I did $1,000 a day challenge. And in 2 weeks, I had made $20,000. I showed him. I'm like, "Look, I'm already at $20,000. Like he ended up making $20,000. And we made a deal. We said if somebody goes into the new year into 9 to 5s, I got to pay the other one $1,000. And we made that pack, and boom, we jumped into I quit my job. So I stopped going to my job. I didn't formally quit, but I just stopped going. Like I was making money. Like it didn't matter. And I had like $10,000 worth of sick time saved up, which they still got because it's use or lose it. But anyway, so he puts his formal in around like November. I put my formal in like 2 weeks later, but I've been going for my job before him. Just so if Adrian sees this, just know I quit first. But we're going to the new year, and now we're making $20,000 a month on the regular. Like me and him, like I can't remember the last time I made less than $20,000 a month. Making it, we're going into these events. I'm living a full-on entrepreneurship life. Like, I got my credit repair business flowing. I'm trading options. I'm bringing in about 5K a week of options. I'm bringing in about 3 to 4K from my passive income. From the virtual assistant staffing agency, credit repair. So I'm living like a movie. I'm hopping on planes and stuff like that, and I'm buying the cars I want, things like that. Traveling, um, it's just like a movie. And what's so crazy is I never stop giving back to like the kids or whatever, or I'm in position to take care of my family and to back up because I missed a crazy part. Um, after I got on at the post office, um, so it was another transition phase before that I missed. My dad has sold somebody some weed. Now my dad old. My dad sold somebody some weed, and I knew the guy. Um, and he didn't pay my dad his money, so my dad's mad. Like, this guy didn't pay me my money. I'm about to go do X, Y, Z, and I'm like, I'll handle it. Go up to the dude's job. He sees me. He knows what I do, how I handle stuff. Um, so he's talking to me like anxious, like he's nervous. But he's trying to still show that like, hey, I'm a man. I know what comes with it. And I'm like, look, I'll make you a deal. I said, I'll pay my dad. I said, but you will never buy drugs from my dad ever again. I said, because if you buy drugs from my dad, then I gotta take it there, right? And he's like, cool, we got a deal. So go to my dad, give my dad the money. Tell my dad, hey, you need to stop selling drugs. My dad tells me, who gonna take care of the family? I was like, I got it. I said, you need something? I said, I'll take care of you. Mom needs something, I'll take care of you. Said, they'll need something. Which is my sister. I'll take care of it. He like, you ready for that? I said, yeah, I'll take over. So he like, all right. So, obviously he put me to the test. I need some money for my car. There you go. Your mom need this. I need this. So I'm cashing them out now. But in the sentiment that's when I took over my family. That's when I became, the leader of the pack, was by telling him, hey, take a step back. And that's when, prior to my documentary, we had a conversation and he was telling me like, hey, look, everything you're doing right now, this is what I envision you to do. He never wanted me to sell drugs. Even when I was robbing, he'll tell me like, you're doing dumb stuff. This is not what you're capable of doing. So full on transparency going into it now, like, I still take care of my family. Like, I've paid my sister's tuition. My mom, I just took my mom front row floor seats last night. My mom, I put my mom on her first plane.
I saw that on your story.
Yeah, front row. Out of 500 people there, front row. You sitting in the front row. I've invested in my I've invested in my wife's first business. As far as owning property and things like that. I'm able to take care of a lot of people based off me taking on that pressure of my family, because my word is everything. So if I say something, I gotta do it. Before I was stock trader T, I was manifest T, and that's why my documentary is called Manifest T with the capital T. Yeah, so it's more or less of that transition took me from, and I see so many people now that be like, hey, I know where you came from, or my billboard is up near my mom's old house. So yeah. So I people say, hey, I see where you came from. I see the transition. I'm so proud of you now. Because to be transparent, because this is, I'm gonna be transparent to, I'm a second member of my family to be a millionaire. Shout out Big C, that's my cousin Sierra, and she helped me grow to get to the millionaire status. She actually showed me that it was possible. She's the first millionaire in my family. And I didn't even really, when I was getting money, when I was in trucking and stuff, me and her wasn't even really talking. And then my cousins had told her, like, I was talking to her, or they had talked to her, like, hey, have you got with T? And she's like, who is T? And we're like first cousins. She's like, who is T? And they'll be like, people will tell me like, hey, have you talked to C? But I'm thinking she like celebrity status. So I'm like, I'm not about to go talk to her because it's looking like I need a handout, and which I don't need. But she came to me like, hey, cousin, I see you doing some things. Let's click up. Let's meet up. And me and C, you know, we pay the way, so we create generational wealth inside of our family because she understands how to. She's the first millionaire, so it's easier to kind of carve out what I need to do with me being the second millionaire in my family. So ever since then, man, I've been giving back. I've been speaking in schools. I still go to the neighborhoods, let them know everything that I do is possible. Um, you know, I do a lot of free stuff, drop content, free master classes. I've traveled the world, met a lot of other entrepreneurs. I've taught over 300 people in the stock market. I've repaired over 10,000 people's credit. Even before this podcast, I was on the phone talking to somebody else. I have multiple business ventures, man, and just more or less my goal. My goal originally was to take care of my family, but it just expanded from there to take care of the world. So I guess, in a sense, I always said I don't want a obituary if I go. I want a documentary, and you know, we got to make movies. So that's my story.
Wow. That's so fascinating. And quick question, do you think you would have been able to make the kind of money you're making now if you were still in the street?
Never. I never seen somebody make a millionaire and not become a millionaire in the streets and not have to go do time. Not have to go sit down for all that money that they made. All the big time drug dealers, you know, go in. I just walk. No lie to you. What's this week? This week alone, I've gained over $400,000 in capital from the banks, meaning I leverage lines of credit, and my payout this week for cash probably was about $60K. So you telling me I made close to $500,000 or leverage close to $500,000 in a week, based off my credit, me having relationships with bankers and things like that, and even me trading in the futures market, I made a couple of thousands. But we got to understand, like, I remember I talked to older guys in Fort Lauderdale. A lot of guys that make money living in Fort Lauderdale. And he was telling me the real gangsters play on Wall Street. The real gangsters is the people that sit behind the desk with those suits on. You know, we think we're the gangsters because we run in these streets where they're laughing at us. They're laughing at us. The real gangsters are the ones that have old money, not the ones that don't have the money to get put up for any lawyers or anything like that. And when that registers to me, that's why I tell people rich is gangster. Having money is gangster. I went and talked to a kid's prison, and I cried. Like, I was shaking because I seen myself. And I was telling them, I was like, y'all think y'all hood in here throwing up signs and all this other stuff while your mom out here struggling, crying every night that you sit behind her and she can't hold her baby. You know, while my mom is hopping on planes, sitting in front of those 4 seats because I'm taking care of business, what I need to do out here. Being rich is gangster. Being able to take care of my family is gangster. Picking my son up every day from school, having the ability to do that is gangster. Me giving my sons whatever they want for Christmas or their birthdays is gangster to me. Me being able to show up to every game, that's what's really gangster to me. Not doing something to somebody else or showing I'm this type of macho man. Being gangster to me is being able to provide for your family and able to change somebody's life off of a conversation. If they ain't gangster to you, then I don't know what is.
Yeah. Being gangsters, being able to be there for your family, that's really dope. Because what's the point of doing all of that and then you're locked up or you're killed or that violence comes up to you and, like, in the drive-by, your family member get killed or something like that. That's really, I think that's stupid. And I have a question. Well, me being African, I don't know much about the streets. What I know is what I watch from the movies.
Right.
But it's kind of fascinating to me how, like, when like the tanks and stuff, like the cops came to your house and you felt like, oh, I've made it. What is about that? Like, being arrested, like I've seen it in movies and even in hip hop. It's the status. Why do people glorify that? Like,
when I pull up somewhere, I wanna garner respect. I want you to know I'll shake this whole room up if you even think about doing something to me, or I'll
like people kind of fear you.
I'm placing fear inside of you or I want you to know, or if I step in a room, I want the girls to looking like, hey, he get money, like, you know, he out because it's an authoritative thing to have that, to say, okay. So when they rolled the tank up on my line, it was like, oh, I'm that guy. Like, you know, if you make the news or the papers or something like that, and they see, oh, I'm in here for felonious assault or whatever, it kind of makes you feel like, oh yeah, now you know not to play with me, you know. And that's the wrong vision that we got, because it's kids out here that roll around and be like, oh, I don't want to be played with, or I want to be feared. When you don't gotta move like that, because that's not what it's about. The streets is a myth. No one makes it. All my friends that I hung around with in those stores went to prison. Everybody that hung, and that was their journey. That was God's calling for them. You know, they probably had to go through that phase to learn something to better themselves, right? I possibly could have been there, but I woke up prior. He spoke to me before, and I just took his lesson and I actually implemented it into my life at a sooner time. So maybe somebody had to go to prison to get a message, or to reach somebody in there to grow with their life. So I'm not knocking nobody that went to prison, because it could have easily been me. But what I'm saying is, I beat the streets. Like when people, I don't glorify nothing in the streets. So if somebody say, "Oh, where you from?" I don't care if I say, "Oh, I'm from this." Oh, you're not from there. Oh, you didn't put in no work there. Oh, you didn't do that, because it's 2 generations probably under me that's putting in work that's not gonna be remembered. Nobody's gonna remember when they bought those Jordans from me in '06 or '07, to be like, yeah, I remember you was back in the day getting it there. It's about right now. It's about right now what you see. It's about right now you see me speaking on these stages, these podcasts, these platforms, me walking into these schools, impacting these youth, and they feel it because it's real. You know, I'm speaking from a place of where I actually done these things, more or less. I'm not speaking from what I seen. Like you said, I see it in the movies. I've lived those movies. You see the movie Paid in Full. I've lived riding through in nice cars and 22 with with a gun on me illegally. And I say illegally because I still carry a gun. I just have my license. You can still be gangster and be a civil citizen. That's what people fail to realize. I know guys who really will flip a whole place over, but also got their bachelor's degree. That also has a family at home and has everything to lose. That has their gun license. That has everything, their paperwork and trust. That they'll still have that mindset. I'll flip this because I got to make it home to my kids. But they're doing that in a more civil manner. They're more polished. So the idea of being gangster is false to our children, because they make it look cool. That's why when I go in these schools and I wear this ice or I wear this jewelry and stuff, their first thing is, are you a rapper? You know, you play in the NBA, you know, you must gotta hustle. Nah, I trade stocks. And when I say I trade stocks, now I'm making stocks look cool. Now you gonna want to go trade stocks, because guess what? You realize you can get a $60,000 chain. You can buy a $30,000 Rolex. You can buy a Lamborghini truck by doing something positive.
Yeah. Wow. And I think I saw in one of your posts about like telling the young kids, it's, you don't only have to be an NBA player to be successful, because like coming from Africa, coming here, I think with African American, especially the kids, they only think, oh, I want to be in the NBA, I want to be a rapper. They see that's the only thing they see as being successful. That's how you can become a millionaire. But if you actually think about it, the people that go to, you could be an NBA player and not really make that much money.
For sure. I make some more. It's a lot of people in the G. I probably make more than the whole G League. Every G League player that comes in with contracts, I probably make more. I think their max contract is $500,000. I make more than somebody that has in the G League. When you get called up to the NBA, I think your max contract is still in the 6-figure round. I'm a 7-figure person, so I still make more than you. What if that's your passion and you want to hoop? Yeah, go ahead, follow your passion. I tell people, follow your passion, you'll never work a day in your life. But if you just doing it for the money aspect, think about a lot of those NBA players. You think LeBron would have had $1 billion if he didn't have somebody that was consulting for him to make the right investments? You know what I'm saying? You don't got to be the NBA player. Why can't you be the consultant for LeBron to move that money actually somewhere to make more money with? You get what I'm saying? People like, that's the thing. People like the spotlight of, it's a saying by Pusha T. He said, people, y'all rather be more famous than rich. And I didn't come in for the fame. I came in to become rich. I don't care about, no offense, I don't care about the cameras. I don't care about none of that. What I care about is my mom experience and stuff like that. I care about my kids' experience and things that I never had, going with shoes that I never were able to get. I care about what the money does to people. I don't care about nothing else. And I want to be able to implement that. Then when I'm gone, that my children's children will eat off the decisions that I made today.
Awesome, awesome. And one more thing I was gonna say. It just skipped me. So, okay, I wanted to ask this question so when you were in prison, jail, I said prison. I never knew the difference till now.
Yeah,
what made you that wasn't the first time, but how come you were scared around that time? And then how was God speaking to you? Like, how did it feel? Like,
the third time?
Yeah.
So, so I've always been a spiritual person. I have a connection with God. I still, shout out Kirk, I still go to a Christian church and get a message from here and there. But my main thing is I understand that God makes no mistakes. So me being there maybe was, I had to get there to solidify that connection with him and call out to him. So when I got there, and it was like chilling to hear him actually speak back to me, because a lot of times is people pray to God and they like, I didn't hear anything, or I didn't get it. I didn't, nothing's changed. What's going on? So for him to actually take the time out to speak back to me and for me to open my eyes to that, I couldn't take that for granted. So I wouldn't say I was scared. It was more or less of, I knew I had to walk a new path, and on this new journey, he had to be with me. And when he's with you, you can't go wrong. So I wouldn't be here today if without him. So most praise to the high.
Yeah. And yeah, one more thing that I wanted to talk about is the company that you keep. You've always had someone, when you had the wrong person in your life, you see the trajectory of your life.
Yeah.
And when you have the right person in the right environment, your life has been transformed completely. And within a short period of time, when did you move to Atlanta? Which year?
2019. I moved to Atlanta in 2019, and I came back around 2020.
And when did you meet your partner, your business partner?
So I met him in middle school. But in middle school, bro, we started hanging around probably after 2021-ish. 20, that's when we jumped in the entrepreneurship field together. So that's when me and bro started hanging around pretty hard. And bro ain't, like I said, that's somebody that'll flip the whole room around, but you won't even know it. He from the South Side too. He came from the same environment as me. He just moved himself different. Like, you would never know he would flip a room upside down. But if we got into the predicament, he would. But he just moves different, and that's what I said. And once again, his parents, he grew up in a 2-parent household, so we come from the same background. We're very relatable. But bro, just really he more polished than me. He went to college and stuff, so he took the smart route.
Yeah, this has been a really amazing and impactful podcast. I've learned a lot.
Love.
I was telling you the other day that your story is like the Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah, for sure, man.
You've done some crazy things, but you turn it all around in a positive. And it goes to show that no matter how bad your life is, no matter what you've done in the past, you can always turn it around. God can always help you and turn it around. And you can turn it around and be a better person, no matter how poor you've been, or no matter where you've come from, whether being a drug dealer, robbing people, making with God, bringing the right people into your life, and with God bringing you the right information, because information is power. You invested in yourself. You invested in taking risks and buying those courses. It's not crazy. I bought a few courses and I'm like, I didn't learn much. It's difficult to invest in the courses these days, because also there are a lot of scammers out there. Like I remember starting this YouTube and all of this. I bought a course on how to be an influencer, and that was a total scam. I always said it was over $1,000. At the time, I'm like, I was fresh from Africa. I was fresh from Ghana. I'm like, that's a whole lot of money back then.
It is. No, right.
I used to be a doctor back home, and I'm like, this is more than what I was making a month back home. And I was like, oh, let me invest in myself. And I'm like,
but you had the right idea, though.
Yeah, I had the right idea.
You invested in yourself.
Yeah, and so it's about investing in yourself, having the right people around you, and also putting your faith in God, because
that's the biggest one.
Yeah, if you can't do everything by yourself. You can't do everything by yourself.
Self-made is false.
Yeah, I like that. People will say, oh, I'm self-made. No, you're not self-made.
No, you're not.
Nothing is luck. God brings the right people, the right circumstance. If you weren't transferred to, promoted to Atlanta, you probably would still be working in the post office, and would still be like, man, I got to go back to the streets.
Yeah, exactly. And I probably would have came back to the streets. You're right.
Yeah. But God was sitting up there, and He moved everything around and helped you and positioned you in the right environment in order for you to grow. So thank you so much for coming. Do you have any last words for the people who are
watching? So for everybody who's watching, hopefully my story impacts your story. I want you to really just take the time out and sit right and audit your circle. Audit your circle, audit who's around you, audit who's calling and genuinely checking on you, or audit the people who's asking you for things, and remove those people from you. Because sometimes we feel as if we owe people, and you don't owe anybody anything. You owe yourself. Invest in yourself, believe in God, and I can tell you right now, believe in your purpose. Don't think about the money, because if you're doing what you love, you'll never work a day in your life. That's my message to the people, man.
Awesome. Okay. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe, and see you next week. Bye-bye.